And we are live. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday morning. How is everybody doing this morning? How are you doing?
Lovely.
Good. Have your coffee in hand. That's great. This is Sensei David Hill. He is the kettlebell trainer here with us, the person of knowledge. I am the trainee. So I usually will ask the questions that you want to ask. Like, how do you do this? Why are you doing that? Am I doing it correctly?
It's funny but we're so used to learning things really quickly. Like, I learned how to lift weights, and I tell people when they start doing kettlebell, I'm like, look, this is going to take you a full year of doing it regularly before you really start to get it. It's going to take a few years before you more completely get it. The human body is not a simple mechanism, and it's folly to think that you can learn how to get it to function properly quickly. It takes years.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people quit. They don't have the patience, the dedication, the consistency. I've been working with kettlebell almost a year with you, and honestly, I mean, I had shown progress before, but I've shown tremendous progress recently. So I've notched up to the next level.
Yep.
Once you do that, then you don't want to stop because you know that there's another level to go to, and it requires patience and dedication and consistency. But here's the thing: it's so worth it. It is so worth it. It's worth doing this. It's amazing what this has done to my body and how I feel, how much stronger I feel when I'm doing my regular stuff. We do tile work, so we lift heavy things. It's just an amazing thing to be able to learn and to grasp the correct way.
And it's so funny that there's so much of that stuff that we don't know that we don't know. It takes getting introduced to it and doing it for a while before it dawns on you, oh my gosh, this is, these are principles of motion of the human body and the human form that they transcend kettlebell. They have to do with every movement that you make, at least every one that you put under load, which is you're in gravity, which is all the time. So.
Hey, I'd like to thank all of you for being here with us this morning. Really a lot of gratitude for the people that join us. People join us afterwards and watch the replay. We have new friends, Michael and Lauren, who found us yesterday.
That was hilarious.
Was just totally thrilled. So welcome everybody. And this isn't about us. This is about you. This is about creating a sustainable practice that you can age gracefully with, that you can become stronger, more flexible, more mobile. It helps your brain. It helps you work better, think better. It's just an amazing thing. So I'm glad that you're here joining us at 6 a.m. I do want to talk a little bit about breath work. And the reason I'm talking about breath work is because it is breathing correctly, and how we breathe is so important, not just to your health, but to your overall being, your body, mind, and soul. We recently listened to a book. It's called Breath.
That's a good book.
You can find it. We listened to it on Audible. My daughter actually told me about this book. I guarantee you will not know half of the stuff that you hear in this book. This is all information I've never heard before. It's about breathing, how important it is to breathe.
It structures your skull.
Yeah, and breathing through your nose. Really, how important it is to get a grasp on your breathing when you sleep at night, when you're doing things during the day. It's a really interesting book. And breath work can be used. I'm a trauma recovery coach. And so breath work can also be used to help quell some symptoms of trauma, triggers and things like that. And you can use it on the spot. So yoga is also help, but you can't just bust out a yoga move and, if you're somewhere where you're getting a trigger, but you can do a breath work. One of my favorite breathing exercises is really simple, and I'll show it really quick before we start our warm up. it's really important to have both of the nostrils clear in order to breathe the right way during the day. And one of the ones, we've done this before with our mentor, Master Shri Karshna, where you close up one side of your nostril, you breathe in on the right side of your nostril 8 counts, you hold for 4 counts, you change, so you hold that, and you breathe out on the opposite nostril 8 counts. Then you breathe in 8 counts on that other nostril, hold the nostril. So it looks like this. So I'm starting with holding my left side and breathing in my right side. So breathe in, hold for 4, and then breathe out on the opposite side. 8. Breathe in 8 on that side. Hold for 4, and breathe out 8 on the other side. And you do this, it helps quell your anxiety if you have any. It helps calm your brain. It helps you stay focused and present. Try it sometime. And it also helps clear both sides of the nostrils. So that's my spiel on breath work. The book is called Breath or Breathe. Breath, I think it is. It's a yellow book, so you can look it up on Audible or Amazon or wherever you get your books. Really intriguing. You're going to really love this book. Very interesting. It's a must-read book. We are here with Sensei David Hills. He is the kettlebell instructor, the aficionado of the body, the human body, and he teaches us every single day. So we are going to get started with a warm-up this morning. So everybody up off your seats, put your coffees down or tea or whiskey or whatever you're drinking. And no judgment here. I always say that every morning. Hi, everybody. Oops, we have Alan. Alan's here every morning with us. We have Mendy, our friend Mendy. She's got the muscle strong arm up. And we have Andy Arsenal. We have Alita. Oh, good morning, Alita. Yeah, 4 in, 8 out. Yeah, you got it. So that book is, you'll be amazed by it. So, like I said, it's a
yellow book, yellow cover. Just says breath.
Yeah, really easy to listen to on Audible.
All right, guys, let's bounce.
So this is just a warm up. We do this every morning, and you don't have to follow our lead. You can if you want. You can do something different. This is dropping our shoulders and our arms down. So you're letting your arms loose like it's like spaghetti. And as you hop and come down, drop down. You're also incorporating the ankles and feet in this, just getting ourselves and our body warmed up for our kettlebell workout. This is like flicking water off your hand. So I always say,
we do this same workout, these same warm-ups every day. We chose these exercises because it systematically goes through the entire body, loosening and awakening and energizing every bit of it.
And it feels really good.
It does.
Heart openers, as we come around, we do a little bit of body tapping, the Qigong practice, which is great. We did a whole body tapping the other day. And as we open our arms, we feel gratitude for every single thing that we have in our lives, our dreams, our goals, our new friends, our old friends. The fact that we woke up this morning. We're just doing a little bit of a body twist. Don't forget to turn your opposite foot here so that you don't crank on your knee. And then as we come around, we're just doing some body tapping wherever your hands happen to hit. You can go up or down, whatever is good for you. You can do a full body tap too, which is just tapping the body all the way from the feet all the way to the top of the head. Neck rotation. Head rolls, whatever you want to call them. These I take a little easy on. My neck, it's not in pain or anything. It's just, when you're first getting up in the mornings, it's a little stiff. It's really great to see the grass getting green. We've had a couple of days of rain here in the state of Maine. We're located in the upper northeast corner of the U.S., and the rain has really made the leaves pop out and the grass grow, and it's so much better than looking at brown nothing. So it's starting to feel really good. I took a nice walk yesterday. It was sprinkling a little bit, but we went. Bugaboo and I went for a nice walk yesterday, sort of in the rain in the morning. And I tell you, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling, I don't know, depressed, anxious, go for a walk in the woods or in nature, wherever you can. If you've got a little bit of nature around you, go for a walk and really pay attention to what you're seeing. Don't think about what's happened in the past or worry about what you think is going to happen in the future. Just take a look around you at what you see and listen to the birds and all of that good stuff. Just doing some hip rotation here, move it or lose it moves. Just draw a circle right on that floor, or you can do the side to side if you want. Just getting your hips mobile, or you can do the cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha, cha-cha. That always makes you laugh. Whatever you want to do, you can go like this, you can dance. It's just it's just getting your hips mobile. And we're just doing a little bit of a stretch here in the back of the legs. You can bend your knees a little bit if you'd like, or you can straighten them and just come down. Just make sure you're not rounding your back, that you're folding at the hip crease, which is right here. So we're just folding down at the hip crease. You can put your hands on the floor, on the bottoms of your legs, whatever you like. And then knee rotation, just getting the knees warmed up. I have injured my knee before. When we were doing, we went to the UK a year ago for 3 months, and we did this yoga business program. And the yoga program was no joke. The business program was no joke either, so too. But the yoga program was really difficult yoga. We ended up doing, 4 hours a day at the end, the last month, 4 hours of yoga a day. But I injured my knee in the beginning when we were just doing an hour a day. And it was because I wasn't warmed up and I wasn't taking it slow in a progression style like David was talking about earlier. You have to take things slow sometimes. You learn it piece at a time. You can't just jump into stuff. You're going to get injured. And that's what happened. And it takes a long time for your joints to, like if you hurt your shoulder, your knees, it takes a long time to heal. Boy, that took a while.
Okay, so let's do it. Feet on either side of the bell. Take your hands karate chop style and put them right here.
Aha.
That's where you're going to fold. That's the spot. Kick your butt back. Your back stays flat.
Tummy tucked in.
Grasp the handles. Seat the shoulders. Drive into the heels to pick the bell up. Pushing the hips forward. Now push the hips back. Now don't release your shoulders. Keep them seated the entire time.
Now, for those of you who are new, we have about, I don't know, maybe a year's worth of videos.
Yeah, we're on a year now.
Sensei David Hill's YouTube channel. And
hugely popular.
Well,
it's like 25 subscribers.
Well,
but it is the storehouse for all the information.
Luckily, there's some 25 subscribers there. But my point is we have videos about how to do the basic moves. You need to know how to do the swing properly, how to do all of these basic moves. We've kind of gone from basic into like the next step just because that's the progression here, but you can go back and look at any of those videos. If you want us to see your form, we're more than happy to do a Zoom call with you, or you can send in a video of you working out and David will check your form and give you some feedback.
Okay, so the next one we're going to do that same squat, but we're going to hold the kettlebell on one side. That weight on one side is going to want to make us do this. You have to stabilize, you have to pull back. It's an asymmetrical workout. you're going to stay balanced even though the forces are trying to unbalance you. So your goal is to stay perfectly straight, just like your kettlebell is in the middle, even though it's on the side. So grab it with one hand, bring it to the outside.
Suitcase style, I like it when you say that.
Tighten your core, and
that's
one.
The key. Core tight.
2.
Your toes are gripping into the mat. We don't wear shoes. I've said that a million times. You need to be able to grip with your toes when you're doing this. 8. Are we on 8? 9. 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Two hands, grab it by the horns. Grip it. Swing it up in front of your face. Ball down in the back, up in the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other direction. This is the halo. This is orbiting where your halo would be if you were to have a halo.
Wait a minute, I have one.
And
I just wanted to get closer to it so they could see
yeah.
what I was doing.
Okay, step the kettlebell aside. Come on down to the floor and have a seat.
I'm gonna adjust my camera here. Yeah. Perfect.
Now, one of the big differences between kettlebell and traditional weightlifting in the Western world is that in kettlebell, we use momentum. We use momentum wherever we can, as opposed to in traditional weightlifting, which is not traditional. It's actually much earlier, much later in development than kettlebell. But if you go to the gym, people say, "Oh, you're cheating." No, I'm using the body properly. Because when we use the body to do work during the day, nobody gives a shit whether or not you're cheating by making it as hard as possible. In fact, if you did, they'd probably think that you were a bit silly. So,
right. So when you're doing work, like
when you
if you're picking up a heavy bag of sand, let's say, do you want to make it easier for yourself or do you want to make it harder? That's the point, right? We don't make things harder for ourselves. We make things easier.
Precisely.
That's
so. This first thing is we're going to roll back. And here's what I want you to do. You're going to imagine, you're going to touch your elbows to your knees or even grab a hold underneath your knees, right? You're going to tuck your head, curl your back, you're going to pivot and tilt your hips forward. It's kind of like trying to touch your nose to your belly button. I used to tell people, imagine that you are inside of a bubble. Like a big beach ball, you're inside it. So you can't do this because that's going to reach outside the bubble. So your heels, your butt, your elbows, the back of your head, and your back, you're all on the bubble. And you're going to roll back and roll straight back up. Good. Again. Now, lean over and reach one hand to the side. You're going to roll back and go back up onto the other side.
So we turn our feet?
Yep.
Okay.
The easiest way to navigate these is to point your big toes. If I want to go this way, I point both feet this way. And then when I get to the top, I turn them the other way, and I'll automatically come up on the other side. Nice. That's nice and quiet. Feel how it's in your hips? You have to tighten your belly button in order to keep that thumping from happening. Yeah. Okay, now, here's where we do it with the kettlebell. We're going to start without the kettlebell so that we don't do this properly. You're going to have one hand on the ground, one hand reach overhead, just like the half get up. Now you're going to let go of that hand, roll back, come back up the same way. So my feet stay pointed this way. That's the exercise. Now grab your kettlebell.
Now, I'm using a smaller kettlebell than I normally use. You can do the same. I would suggest doing that if you feel that your one that you've been using is too heavy and you just want to get down what's going on here first.
Now, a couple of key points. One, never take your eyes off the kettlebell. Two, don't contend for space with the kettlebell. If that kettlebell starts to fall or get out of the way, don't let it fall on top of you. If it wants to come down where you are, don't fight it. Just move out of the way. Does that make sense?
Use a lighter kettlebell or no kettlebell.
Yeah, use a light kettlebell or no kettlebell. Don't bite off more than you can chew.
The other tip that David did one time, you used a shoe.
Well, the shoe I used for the Turkish get-up where I wasn't using momentum. You can use a shoe, but you're going to find it much, much harder to do this one because of the way you're moving.
Okay, gotcha.
I would suggest just using a very small kettlebell until you're comfortable with it, and then use a slightly heavier kettlebell and work your way up. It will teach you what it is you need to do in order to do this right. You have to have full lockout. It has to be directly plumb, right? Okay, start from here in the rack position, press it overhead. Make sure your elbow is locked, your wrist is straight, your shoulder is seated. Look up at the bell, hand on the ground. Roll back and back up to the same spot. Nice. Now, you've got your arm bent just a little bit. Fully lock it and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go to 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's okay. If you're not at 10, do what you need, do what you can. It's totally fine.
Let's do the other side.
Do the other side. Bring it to the rack. Arnold press. Look up. Position yourself properly. Take the hand away, roll back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pull it in. Stay there. Nice. Not an easy exercise.
Yeah, it's not easy. David makes everything, don't worry everybody. David always makes everything look easy. Just watch me and you'll see that it's not easy, but you'll get it. And that's what practicing does. It's not about, I saw a meme which I posted yesterday. It was about, we all suck at most things. We just need to practice.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? Out of the gate, who knows how to do anything?
Hold on, we're going to do one more thing on the ground here. So we're going to do one more exercise on the ground, which I'm going to turn sideways so you can see it. It is another exercise for the forearm.
Come this way a little bit more because they still can see in the camera.
Okay, so you're going to take the kettlebell and you're going to tip it over so that the handle is pointing to the sky.
So you mean the handle?
So in other words, it's
actually,
not,
the handle is pointing towards you, but the top, the edge, the curl of the handle is pointing towards the sky.
okay. Now, I'm going to take my thumb and index finger, like a little OK sign, and I'm going to grab it on the bell, and I'm going to bring it all the way up, and I'm going to choke up all the way to the kettlebell. Then I'm going to pull it back until the ball is up, and my wrist and forearm are completely on the ground. Now, it's going to want to tip over, that way or that way. I'm going to keep it from tipping over. So I'm stabilizing it. The exercise looks like this. Touch the ball, and then your forearm. Come back.
So here's what I'm going to do because it's hard to see the bell on the black mat. I'm going to bring the camera to. Everybody can see what it's doing.
Then I'm going to change hands.
Let me see. Let me turn the camera around, so.
Very hard to do.
See how so you're stabilizing. The ball's going to want to tip either way. And you can start with a lighter
Yeah, start with a lighter weight.
weight because you don't want to yank on your.
Now the point is to balance it. It requires a great deal of muscular control to keep it balanced. Sometimes people think, well, that's more balance than strength. Well, that gives us an interesting question, doesn't it? What is strength? Because if I can do it and somebody else can't, and it's a matter of balance, what difference does their strength make if they can't do it? It makes you question, well, what is strength? Strength is a combination of balance, coordination, proper nervous system control, proper muscle firing patterns, all of those things, flexibility, all of those things. Nicely done.
Am I doing this right?
You are. Is this you want to touch? Yep. So you have to.
So you're touching your wrist.
Your wrist.
Down onto the floor.
And forearm flat.
Okay.
A lot of times people get to here and it's like that last little bit is the hard part. Yeah. And yeah, use the other hand to stabilize it. You'll find that 8 kilogram kettlebell is probably just fine for what you need here.
This one?
Yep. Yeah. Feel it?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Very good. You're working muscles radialis and brachioradialis. Those are the two major muscles that you're working. Yeah. It's funny. This one, it looks like, oh, what a wimpy exercise until you try it. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, you have to. Stabilization part. And that works all of your.
It's no different than when we do our swings. You are stabilizing with your entire body. and firing just the muscles that are doing the motion. The muscles that are doing the motion are getting worked, no doubt. But the coordination of your entire body through that process of stabilizing, they're all working as well. In fact, much, much more than the muscle doing the actual movement.
Yeah.
Kettlebell is about understanding which muscles to hold on to and which muscles to let go of. How to fire properly the muscles doing the motion.
Yeah.
It's a much more sophisticated study than people realize.
It'll make you stronger. I know for me, my grip is stronger, my wrist is stronger, my forearms are a lot stronger than they used to be.
All right, let's do it. Let's do the five tiers.
Okay.
So grab your heavier bell. We're gonna do 5 of them. Swing, high pull, rack and press, snatch, and squat, all with one side. Then you're gonna swing, change hands, do it all over again. High pull, rack and press, snatch, squat. Here we go. Kettlebell between your feet. Reach down, left hand, thumb back, grab the bell, and swing. High pull. Rack it. Press. To the bottom and snatch. Rack it and squat. Change hands. High pull. Rack and press. Snatch. Squat. That's 1. Change hands. High pull. Rack it. Press. Snatch. Squat. Change hands. High pull. Snap. Rack it. Press. Snatch. That's 2. To the bottom and snatch. That's 3. Or 1 more set. Nicely done.
Thank you so
Sean,
much
Tim, good morning.
for joining us this morning. A little bit of a kettlebell workout, some inspiration. Getting my breath here. So happy that you joined us today. We are sending all of you love, joy, peace, and happiness out to anyone who needs it today. We are the creators of our own life. If you are not dreaming, setting goals, creating life, and life will just do its thing on you. I don't think you can want the outcome. You create your own life. You make your life the way you want to make it. You want the way you want to live, which is what we're doing. And we're teaching you how to do that. And it starts with getting strong, flexible, mobile, and learning new things every single day. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you have a fantastic day. We'll see you here tomorrow morning bright and early at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.